Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for your introduction. My talk is about fatigue drag growth in the regions with different stiffness and for components with non-symmetric stiffness distribution with respect to drag. Even for symmetric loading, mixed mode loading occurs at first. Since we deal with planar systems, we have two basic drag opening modes. Mode 1, the symmetrical opening of the drag with drag propagation self-similar, and mode 2, when there the drag propagates, the drag deflects. The aims of these studies are the investigation of the drag growth behavior near regions with different stiffness. Second, the determination of the drag paths for different orientations of the region with different stiffness. And third, the determination of the drag entrance angle when the drag crosses the boundary between regions with differing stiffness. The approach is the numerical determination of the drag paths in CT specimens with stiff or pliable second region with different orientations. Since we use the 3D program AdaptDrag 3D for the drag simulations, we have to do some adaptations to this program to enable plane simulations. The first one was that we set K3 almost 0 to prevent the twisting of the drag front. The second one was that we averaged the stress intensity factors K1 and K2 over the thickness of the specimen. The third is that we have a uniform drag extension for all drag front nodes to have a straight drag front over the thickness of the specimen during the drag growth. And the third is that we mesh the initial drag with the mesh method to achieve a constant drag deflection angle over the thickness of the specimen. For the numerical evaluation of the stress intensity factors, the multi-part linear drag closure interval method is applied to a co-moving submodel, as you can see here. And the drag deflection angles are calculated with the maximum tangential stress criterion after vertical tension. Here you see the specimen and the orientation angles of the second boundary. We have varied the orientation angles from 22.5 degrees to 90 degrees in steps of 22.5 degrees to investigate the influence of the orientation angle. And for the investigation of the influence of the stiffness ratio, we have changed the ratio in between the two regions from 3/2 to 2/3. One is greater than 1 and one is less than 1. Here you see the partitioning of the specimen for the two regions, region 1 and region 2, and the boundary between the two regions. And the boundary conditions, we have a symmetrical loading and we have symmetrical statically determined peering, so that normally when the young borders in both regions are the same, we have a symmetrical deformation of this specimen. Here you see the mesh of the specimen. The green side is region 1 and the region 2, and in this region the drag extends, the mesh is a little bit finer. Now we come to the results for the drag growth simulations. At first, the drag growth simulations for a stiffer second region. This means that the second region is stiffer than the first region. In this case, the drag grows away from the stiffer region. Here are the region boundaries red for the angle 90 degrees and green for 22.5 degrees, and the corresponding drag passes. As you can see, the drag grows away from the stiffer region, and the deviation of the drag increases with the inclination of the region boundary. When the drag enters the stiffer region, here for the yellow one, here for the blue one, then we have a turning point of the curvature at this point. And here for the green line, this is the drag path for the orientation angle of 22.5 degrees. the drag doesn't enter the second region. This means that if the drag doesn't enter the stiffer region, if the stiffness mismatch between the two regions is sufficiently high, and if the drag goes sufficiently flat to the second region. Here you see the results for the K1 distribution with the inclined stiffer second region. In black, you see the reference curve for an homogeneous specimen. And as you can see, obviously, the projection of the drag length on the x-axis is essential. Also, the drag path is curved. As you can see, when the drag grows in the second region, all the curves fall together. Also, the drag paths are not the same. Also, the drag has reflected already. When the drag grows in the pliable region, this is the first one, obviously the stiffer region shields the stress intensity as long as the drag grows in the pliable region. But all the curves fall together. The greatest deviations we have directly at the region boundary. When the drag enters the second region, the stress intensity factor K1 abruptly increases, and K2 has a change in the sign leading to the turning point on the drag path. Now we have the results for the pliable second region. In this case is the opposite. In this case, the drag shortens the way to the pliable region. But again, we have the greatest inclination as the greatest deviations of the drag when the inclination of the region boundary increases. And the curvature of the drag path changes again when the drag enters the second region. Here, all the drags enter the second region, since the drag wants to go into the pliable second region. But here in this case, the transition angle obviously reaches a saturation value if the ratio of Young's modulus is sufficiently small, or the drag grows sufficiently flat towards this region. Here you see the K1 distribution for a pliable second region. Again, in black, the reference curve for the homogeneous specimen. And again, for K1, projection of the drag length on the x-axis is essential. As you can see, when the drag grows in the second region, all the curves fall together. Also, in this case too, the drag are not on the same path. That only the x-axis is, or the x-axis is the same. In this case, the stress intensity factor is increased in the first part, since it grows in the stiff region, and again the curves fall together. But now we have an abrupt decrease of the stress intensity factor curve when the drag enters the second region. In this case too, K1 changes the sign when the drag enters the second region, and we have again the turning point at drag path. The third results were the entrance angle into the second region. Here we have the stiff region, here the second region. The drag entrance angle is defined relative to the orientation angle, alpha. This means that the entrance angle is equal to the orientation angle when the drag goes straight ahead into the second region. Here you see the definition of the stiffness mismatch, and now we can discuss the values or the results for the entrance angle. Depending on the orientation angle, the entrance angle becomes 0 for a certain positive value. This means the drag doesn't enter the sufficiently stiff second region, and the entrance angle approaches a saturation value for negative values of the stiffness mismatch, as you can see here. Let me summarize my results. The characteristics of the drag path near regions with different stiffness are that the crack grows away from a stiff region. It grows towards a pliable region. We have an increasing deviation of the crack passes, increasing inclination of the second region, and an increasing value of the stiffness mismatch. And at last, the characteristics at the region boundaries, we have a sudden change of the stress intensity factor A1. We have a change in the sign of the stress intensity factor A2, and we have a turning point on the crack path. Thank you very much for your attention.